Welcome to the November 9th, 2020 Advance Report for McGowan Group clients and NetWorthRadio.com listeners. I'm Spencer McGowan, your financial weatherman and President, McGowan Group Asset Management, here devoted each week through the pandemic and the trials of 2020, devoted to two things. One, record profits, and two, getting to superior cash flow as a result of what's happened in the pandemic. Now we start to anticipate 2021. So let's get busy. I'm going to run through three asset classes very briefly that set a preview for 2021 and some amazing potential gains along with record income. The first, this week's activity. This week before the election, part of what was happening there is the coronavirus resurgence, not unexpected during flu season. And what happened here in election week? Well, the first thing was gridlock, in that the Senate appears to be controlled by the Republicans. What does that mean? The tax increases that have been proposed by the far left are actually going to be very hard to pass next year. Now we await the other results as we go through. But that's part of the message this week. And the evidence here, 100,000 coronavirus cases, more than one day. New cases over 100,000 for the first time, but the market reacted this way, whereas the week before, this sell-off was actually a couple of thousand points, more related to the resurgence and the shutdown in Germany and France. But wait, there's more to the story. Here, what's this spike? This is actually a new breakout with distance, better than the Dow. Well, that's the healthcare sector. The earnings reports this week from Abbott, AbbVie, Bristol Myers, and the entire sector, including Jazz Pharmaceuticals, they were all off the charts good. As you know, not unexpected with Operation Warp Speed, which means three things: testing, treatments, and vaccines, according to the HHS, scheduled to be delivered in January. Not a few, but tens of millions, with late-stage 4 vaccines underway. If they're 50% effective, I'm going to go get 2. That'd be a good way to do it, right? But anyway, the healthcare sector permanently higher spending in pandemic preparation. But what's happened? A sea change at the FDA. First, you got the right to use, emergency use approval, right? The right to try. Then you got emergency use on top of it for testing. We actually have tests here in the office, blood tests by MEDEK, M-E-D-E-K. That means containment, likely in the first half of 2021. This is one of the most undervalued sectors in the S&P, and the biomedical dividend companies likely to benefit, and I would argue maybe half of their eventual valuations in 2021. So that's one, biomedical, especially the dividends. Now we look at the next sector. This is natural gas. That's a clear rally. This high, all the way back to January of 2019, by the way, would have to go over across the chart. But had a setback this week, but what we're looking at for natural gas is record demand being restored by liquid natural gas exportation. What happens in the second half of 2021? COVID containment, likely to be envisioned in the first half. And then for the second half, you're likely looking at an energy shortage, energy coming back into favor. What's the evidence? The overregulation of the Obama-Biden administration actually led to $100 a barrel oil by limiting supply. The whole sector came back in favor. That's the energy infrastructure case, happens to be the best dividends at the lowest valuation in the S&P. Now I want to show you one other thing on money flow this week. Both of those sectors, by the way, with just a 10% allocation, could add 10% to appreciation next year. That would be 20%, but it's also great dividends and potential record cash flow. Look at this other category right here. I've got the high yield category with great inflows this past week and positive inflows all year long. Why? Money markets are 0%. And a sector that can deliver 5%, 6%, in some cases over 10% from real interest, that likely gets a premium next year. That's the third leg of the stool to say we could have the most extraordinary year of our investing careers in 2021 with those three sectors. Biomedical dividends, the energy sector with the highest cash flow, and of course the high yield sector with 9 of the best money managers in the world picking bonds and loans that just pay us a lot of interest while everybody else gets 0 in cash. We've been here every week to guide you through the crisis, and that's one of the important things about Net Worth Radio, networthradio.com for the extended broadcast, and you can sign up to get your 2021 updated plan as an investor. Whether you are an existing client or a potential client, our Zoom meetings here in the office way advanced above other teams. In addition, those of you comfortable coming into the office, you get a free temperature check, by the way, and a free mask and a free hand sanitizer. But companies are figuring out how to operate. What does that mean for GDP next year? It means real GDP grew at 33.1%, maybe 4% this next quarter, and then returning to about 3%. If we were to get higher taxes and more regulation, that might be 1%, but it also means cash flow would be at a premium. This is the restoration of record employment somewhere in early 2022. All these graphs are at networthradio.com, by the way, and be sure to subscribe to YouTube McGowan Group for the weekly updates with real investment strategy and the weekly headlines. Okay, this is just for fun. So Bitcoin, by the way, back over here on the other side of the chart, hit 20,000, hits a low of 4,000, and that was March, which was really interesting. And then Bitcoin now 16,000 this week, the highest since it hit 20,000 when everybody wanted it. What does it mean? Well, digital coins, digital processing, taking over the traditional bank infrastructure around the world. We'll bring you more updates on this, but it is interesting in that gold came down to below 1900 per troy ounce, exactly where it was in 2011. There's your answer on gold. Wow, it went 1900, 1100, and this week fell below 1900 briefly again. Whereas Bitcoin, clearly a favorite. Yes, there's some nefarious characters in there, but it is an interesting evolution of global finance. I'm Spencer McGowan, President, McGowan Group, and thank you for joining us. Be sure to go to networthradio.com and set your appointment for your 2021 plan with great assets and great cash flow. Thank you for tuning in to our YouTube channel. I'm Spencer McGowan, President, McGowan Group, your financial weatherman. We sponsor each week networthradio.com broadcast that has the charts and graphs, many of which you saw today. We also sponsor this YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe for fast breaking news, an alert when we post something in a market condition that may have changed. Our goal is to help you as an investor make the right decisions at the right time. And that's part of what this YouTube channel is about, as well as networthradio.com. I am well served with a team of 10 people, including myself. And that team that cares is actually made up of people who devoted to your net profits and your success, as well as excellence in service. If you want an educational experience to follow this up, get to networthradio.com, themcgowangroup.com. Right here, we disclose our net client experience all the way back to 2001. What that includes, the bear market cycles of 02, 08, 2018, and the recoveries through the most recent quarter. That is true education of investors and exactly how our clients have done, disclosed right here. Further disclosures, value at risk of loss. Yes, investments are going to fluctuate. That's part of the reason for this broadcast. And that can actually work to your advantage. We'll build that into your plan. So I urge you to go to networthradio.com, fill out the preliminary client questionnaire, a free 1-hour brainstorming session by phone or at the Crescent in Dallas, and we will map out a multi-year plan for you and your family that's appropriate. Just because we talk about a security on this broadcast or any securities doesn't make it a recommendation for your portfolio until you have that written plan. Thank you for tuning in today, and we'll be back next week as your financial weatherman.